I'm worried about how much that moves when you're wiggling it. What are you doing? It's fine.
Someone's been in my chair.
No one's been in your chair, Joe. You were the last
Someone ate my porridge and someone slept in my bed.
You were the last person in your chair, literally on Thursday. Unless you sat in it on Friday when you and Dan had food delivered here.
Dan sat in my chair.
Okay, well,
he broke it.
There you go. Hello, everybody. Hello, you wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel for this surprise but bonus. Liam and Joe, that light has. I moved that light. I need to move it again. Hang on.
The TV's at a weird angle.
This is because the TV is at a weird angle. This is because I tried something new. Can you not read it?
Read what?
The TV. There you go. That's better. Look at that. Now you're lovely and bright.
I know, but I'm all weird. It's all weird. It's strange.
Joe doesn't like change. Joe doesn't like improvements. What happens now when I sit here is I've got chat directly in front of me.
Oh, it's all about you?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the channel called, Joe?
You've got chat there and there.
Yeah. Double chat. Well, you can look at the one nearest. You've got the iPad as well. I can't wait for them to watch you log in live.
Why is there a monkey on a screen? Why is something
That's
going wrong?
a new thing that we'll be trying out tonight.
Okay.
Don't you worry about the monkey on the screen, Joe.
All right then.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on a surprise show that's going to be a new feature, but we're going to have a break next week. Really weird, I'll explain, right? I was talking to Joe yesterday. Joe is unavailable on Thursday because he has childcare duties. And as a responsible employer, when he has childcare duties, I have to allow him to care for his child.
He verbally abuses me.
And allow him to care for his child at the same time, right? So that is something that is going to be happening on Thursday, which means on Thursday, there is going to be no Liam and Joe show. That's really bright. Oh, it's because I did the hobbying on it. Is it too bright, chat? I had to pump the ISO up when I was hobbying on my top down.
Michael Bay dark look.
Is it too light, or do I need to make it darker? Shall I make it like normal Liam and Joe show?
Yeah, I want to feel like I'm about to watch Transformers.
This is why he doesn't like change. What I can do, Joe, is I can grab hold of the ISO, put it on its natural ISO, and that's normal Liam and Joe colours there.
I'll put you in. What have I done?
Well, that looks better. Good, okay, right. It was too bright before, right. Okay, so I was talking to Joe yesterday, right, and he has to go and be his child's care on Thursday because it's half term here in the UK, or end of term, one of the two, right? And so he's got to go look after his child. So there's no Liam and Joe show on Thursday. Furthermore, there's also no game stream on Thursday night because Brom's flying somewhere early Friday morning, Eddie's unavailable, Paddy's unavailable, and Joe is continuing to look after his child. How irresponsible of him, right? So I said to you guys yesterday on the hobby stream that I'll probably do a bonus hobby stream lunchtime on Thursday and probably a bonus hobby stream Thursday evening as well because I'm really enjoying painting Stormcast right now, right? But I was talking to Joe, I was like, is it definite that you're out on Thursday? He said, yeah, it is definite that I'm out on Thursday. I was like, right. He said, why? I said, because I'd have to let you guys know there's no Liam and Joe show. And he said, what if we do one tomorrow instead? And then my cogs got turning and Joe's cogs got turning. We had a little conversation. We were like, well, what if we did 2 Liam and Joe shows a week, right? People often say to me in the YouTube comments that after 40k After Dark, their favourite show is the Liam and Joe show, right?
So.
Which is amazing. I love that. That's brilliant. So if this is people's favourite show, let's do 2 of them. Let's do 2 a week.
Yeah, give them, like, here's one thing I like. Here's 2 things that I like. Push them together.
It's the same thing I like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double.
Right? So we had a conversation about it and I was like, well, here's what we're going to do from now on, okay? Thursday's Liam and Joe show is going to be more predominantly 40k focused. And it kind of always has been anyway, but we've mixed it up a little bit with Old World and stuff like that. It's going to be mostly 40k focused. So today's Liam and Joe show, you'll notice the title is slightly different and it will sit in a slightly different playlist. With the announcement of 4th edition, and with our experience with Mr. the War Hipster last week and to sort of learn to play games of Age of Sigmar, we're both very excited about 4th edition. Kyle's in chat. Kyle's very excited about 4th edition Age of Sigmar. We're slowly but surely trying to convince the other guys like Paddy and Brom and Eddie to get involved in Age of Sigmar. So Tuesday's going to be the Liam and Joe AoS show. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So Tuesday's AoS focus, Thursday's 40k focus.
Makes sense.
Also, it's an additional stream, so we're adding more content rather than replacing other content like we promised. Also means I'm now going on this channel alone to 7 streams a week.
7.
Apparently, still not the hardest working person in the 40k YouTube space, but 7 streams a week, Joe.
7 lots of Liam, 4 lots of Joe.
It is 4 lots of Joe, typically, yeah. 7 lots of Liam, which means our new schedule, if this goes well over the next month, so I'll trial it for about a month first. As always, we'll trial it for about a month first. If it goes well for the next month, we'll update the stream schedule, which means we'll have 7:30 Hobby, Great Hall Hobby, Monday night.
Yep.
Tuesday, 13:30 Liam and Joe AoS show. Tuesday night, Battle Report. Wednesday night, 7:30 40k show. 13:30 Thursday, Liam and Joe 40k show. Thursday night, 7:30 game. Friday, 8:30 40k After Dark. How good's that? There's tons of content.
Yeah.
Making more use of this wonderful studio that you lot helped pay for.
Yes.
If you do genuinely love what we do here, if you enjoy the channel, if you enjoy the content, if you like Joe, please make sure firstly you hit all those magical YouTube buttons for us. So hit that like if you really enjoy the content. 60 likes so far. It would be great to hit 100 off the bat really quickly. Smash subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live or drop a new video. Additionally, another way, a better way in fact of being notified is if you become a member of the Great Hall. ! Member in the chat. If you become a member of the Great Hall, you can be in Discord, and then Discord announces when we go live, and it's much more effective and much quicker than the YouTube notifications are. Alternatively, if you really want to support us, support this place that we have to pay for every single month, you can do things like gift members. This is the stage of the month where I'm really nervous. It's normally about halfway through the month where I'm like, it looks like we're able to afford our bills next month.
Yeah. So if we get like 500 gifted memberships this stream, you'll be all right.
I'll start to relax a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's our target, people. 500 gifted memberships.
If every single one of you gives 5, we'll do it, right? It's a fact,
Yeah.
okay? And I always typically think that gifted memberships directly correlates to how much you do or don't like Joe. So there you go. Alternatively, if you've got something you want to say to us today, then you can stick it on a big colourful postcard, a super chat, chat that in, and we will definitely respond to it. I've got chat in front of me, so I'll try and catch it anyway. But welcome to you, near 200 people joining us on this surprise show. I think the numbers will be a bit lower today because this is a new thing.
It's a new thing. We've had a super chat so
Have
far
we?
from Lehman Russ. I don't really want to acknowledge it.
Oh, why?
It says, ban Joe from drinking Monster at work. No,
I'd like to.
it won't work.
I'd like to.
I'll find a way of getting
I've stopped buying it for him, chat.
He has, yeah, he has.
I'm trying to encourage healthy choices.
I only drink sugar-free Monster now.
It's better. It's better.
It's horrible, is what it is.
No, it's nice. Better. The white one is quite nice.
The white one, the Ultra, is the one I drink predominantly. Followed closely by Ultra Gold Pineapple and Peachy Keen.
I haven't had one for a very long time.
I really miss, I don't see it very often, very more, was Monster Mule, which is like a black can with like gold lip, and it was ginger beer flavoured.
Oh.
That was great.
I don't like ginger beer. So.
It was the best, but the problem is I drank too much of it and I went off it for a while. And that was it. That's the problem. And then when I sold it, they were like, oh, people aren't drinking it. It's like, because it had too much.
I thought your favourite was Lewis Hamilton.
No, it makes me feel sick.
Anywho, I found out the way to get him off a Monster, and that is that you make him force feed him 6-minute pies at the same time as drinking a can. That made you very unwell. And
I was very sick.
We got rid of one flavour. Anyway, so that means Tuesdays we're going to focus predominantly on Age of Sigmar. Now I feel like at this point in time, Games Workshop are making our lives a little bit easier. So we've already seen a few articles about new AoS. I suspect that over the coming months we'll see a lot more articles about Age of Sigmar. So the Tuesday streams, to start with at least, I feel like are going to be pretty easy to talk about AoS.
Yeah.
And the sort of stuff they announce, stuff they talk about. Last night, 7 p.m. yesterday evening, tickets went on sale for the 18th, I think it is, of May, for an AoS Taster Day at 4th edition Taster Day at Warhammer World. Right? I got 2 tickets because you're not available.
No.
So I got 2 tickets, one for me, one for Kyle, because you can't come. They were sold out. They're free, so sold out quotes, but they're sold out within 2 minutes, basically.
It was mad quick, wasn't it?
It was fast. And I was click, refresh, got 2 tickets, okay? So that would show me that people are quite excited about this on the whole. We're very excited about it. Now, Joe and I also have this bonus coming at AoS from basically a completely fresh set of eyes.
Yeah.
So our only experience so far playing 3rd edition Age of Sigmar, you witnessed all of it on camera last week, and you've had a couple of extra turns against Dan on Friday.
But it also means that when, as a primarily 40k based audience, then our opinions and the way we play and learn will hopefully reflect how you do it.
Yeah, I agree.
If that makes sense. So like
the kind of concept is we take you on the journey with us.
Yeah, you come with us, but also like it means that as we learn things, we can compare it to 40k. And be like, this is a better rule, this is a worse rule, or I'd like to see this implemented in 40k, or this from 40k implemented into AoS.
Yeah.
I think that would be good discussion point.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, getting into a new edition means that this would be the place where we review all the new battle tomes and stuff and junk.
Yeah, well, that's the hope. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm super excited about it because I've said to you millions of times already how much I much prefer fantasy and high fantasy. I've wanted a reason to get into Age of Sigmar. I tried to dip my toe in a couple of times to 3rd edition, and I found it a little bit overwhelming. So one of the things I appreciated when we had Josh here last week was that we stripped it right back to the very basics of the core rulebook, and it was a lot easier to take on board. But 4th edition and what they've done with 4th, because 4th edition is their kind of free additionally reset.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like it's easier for new people to get into this edition.
Yeah.
What I've also seen, I'm curious about this as well, chat in general, what I've also seen is a ton of people who have previously been heavy 40k players who have stopped playing 40k and have moved across to Age of Sigmar, and other people that are thinking about stopping 40k and have suggested they're thinking about new Age of Sigmar because it's new. So a lot of people that seem to be, I feel like this edition has a lot more excitement and hype around it, and a lot more people looking at switching to it than they've ever had before in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly because obviously as we've started it, like our Discord and our OnlyFans, people are talking about it a lot more because they're very excited. So we get to see it quite fresh. But I was just thinking then, the way you just said it, does them indexing an edition, is that their way of basically enticing new players in? So say they go 2 or 3 editions by continuing the rule set, keeping the books in line, then an index reset. It's like, this is when we want our new people to come in.
So they kind of said that. So in the article that they released in, was it Nova, Adepticon, recently, Adepticon?
Adepticon.
When they released the article, they basically said over 3 editions of Evolution, they've added and added and added and added and added, right? So they've had 3, edition 1, most people will admit on release, edition 1, pretty fucking all over the place, okay? Because they didn't have points values, there was random rules about if your beard was longer than your opponent's, and if you shouted this thing, like lots and lots of random shit, which was kind of fun on the surface, but didn't actually make for good longevity in terms of a tabletop game. And they quickly corrected that, and they brought points in, all that kind of stuff, right? And then they've, over 3 editions, the core game hasn't really changed. And they've layered and added and expanded, right, to get to where they are now. This is what they were saying. This isn't my words. So they've done that, and they've gone, cool. It's in a good place, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
And this is the experience that I had. When you come at it and you look at General's Handbooks and Battle Tomes and all this extra stuff and battle tactics and blah, 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 you're like, oh, there's a lot here, actually. There's a lot to try and get your head around for a new player. So a lot of what and this is where I said to people last week, a lot of what they've used in terms of design language around the new edition is about streamlining and removing complexity in terms of, not necessarily removing the game mechanic complexity, but how it's all been layered on and layered on and layered on, and taking it back down to, you only actually need this paragraph, right? Which is one of the reasons why I'm excited. Also nervous, because I said the same thing about 10th edition 40k. But yeah, so I think you're 100% right. I think part of what they've done is they've gone, we think the game's good, but we're not necessarily bringing tons of new players in. Now, I feel like they have seen an influx of players because 10th edition 40k.
Yeah.
As people in chat that I've already seen, Martin, a friend of mine in chat, I always like to shout out, he gets very upset if we don't shout about Martin, right?
Yeah.
In the next White Dwarf, by the way, with his Deathwatch army. Beautiful. Anyway, Martin, he's a player who used to play 40k, hence Deathwatch army, who now basically only cares about Age of Sigmar and Necromunda.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's come away from 40k. Dan, your mate, predominantly 40k player, now basically only plays Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
And there's a few people that are in that boat who have been 40k players for ages, don't like 10th edition for whatever reason, not necessarily saying it's a bad edition, but don't like the edition.
Well, look at Josh, War Hipster. Massive 40k. He's got a massive, he always get like an entire army of Blood Angels, like a whole full company. He's got a couple of different armies. Now, AoS, pretty much, all the time. All the time, every time.
So we're also starting a little movement. We started it in the Thanes, we started a little wave.
Yeah.
Little wave started of people, like, because of last week and our content and us talking about Age of Sigmar, and a few people's heads have gone, oh, I'm a little bit turned here.
Yeah.
People have been pulling stuff out the attic. People have been ordering Vanguard boxes. I'm like, start this ripple. And our intent, again, with this show and the channel going forward, specifically this show to start with, is to try and bring you guys on the journey with us, start to develop a bit of an AoS following, as well as our typical usual 40k scheduling, talk about the new stuff, and try and learn 4th edition Sigmar with you guys watching.
Yeah.
And then bring our normal kind of battle report attitude and energy and content coverage to 4th edition Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, I like it.
On that note, Mr. the Joe.
Yeah.
I know we've got some things to say thank you for, but I also have done some magic.
Oh, well, thank you, probably Coco, for the super chat. He says, Nuggies for the Nugget God. Any units you guys are excited to see get reworked in the new edition?
Hard to say, because I don't know what current units do.
I've got Vatsal Blight, Gravelords. I'd like to see zombies get reworked to not be broken.
I mean, that's true of anything that's broken, though, right?
Yeah, I picked Soul Blight because at the time Cities wasn't out. We didn't know cities was coming.
No.
And I was like, Soulblight Gravelords is the most beautiful army they do.
I mean, it's still, even with cities out, it's still up there.
And thematically, it's everything I want from a kind of grimdark fantasy game. It's what I want. Like, all the models are a win. And then I started collecting them. I got the armies. I started building. I started talking to people. People were like, "Oh, you got Soulblight because they're broken." I was like, "No, it's not the response I wanted." Because the zombies are just ridiculous. You can't get. There's no way to kill enough. I'd say those fixed. But what I'd like to see added to the army, which it doesn't have, is like a on-foot elite vampire unit, or an updated version to the skeleton guard, crypt guard.
You get very specific here, chat. Mine's much more generic because I don't know the game very well because I've just started learning it. This is a complaint I've seen a few times. It's a mild and a minor complaint, but it's a complaint nonetheless. So it's something that I feel like would be worth looking into as a rework. And I'm throwing this out there. I'd love to know what AoS people think. Like, I genuinely think there's a potential for them to rework the way that named characters versus characters works. This is also a problem that's now existing in 40k in general. Like, often it's a case of, why would I take this standard character that I can make myself when I can just take the named character who just does everything better at the same points?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like either there needs to be a decent points trade-off, like I can take the name one with all these extra abilities, but it's going to cost me an extra 50, 100 points, whatever, or either that, or I can take this name one who's very, very good, who's got these cool rules, but I can also take this custom one that I can make who's also super cool.
Yeah.
So I can, like, one of the things I'm excited about for AoS myself personally is a step away from competitive type play style, competitive type matchmaking, and to go in towards like the fantasy narrative.
Yeah.
So I'd love to like create some Stormcast general, because that's the army I'm currently painting, who could create his own heroic deeds, and you know.
Yeah, so you want custom characters in a sense of like, I've given him a sword, I want him to have a cool sword, not this character has a close combat weapon.
Yeah, I'd like non-named characters that you make yourself to be almost as impactful as named characters on the tabletop, so you can forge your own narrative, tell your own story. That's something I'd like to do.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe Cole's Only Feed, for 5 gifted members.
5 gifted members. That means 5 people love Joe. Just the 5, actually.
Just the 5.
218 people watching. Only 5 people love Joe.
How many likes have we got?
That's on the main screen in a minute.
And then, thank you, Schooner. Schooner. Is there anything in 4th edition 40k you would like to see in new AoS?
It's been a long time since I played 4th edition 40k.
Or 10th ed 40k. Having played it a couple times, one of my biggest gripes is the effective fighting range of units in combat.
Yeah.
So one thing I do like is that you can't move within 3 inches, not an inch. I like
that, yeah.
Which I'm a massive fan of.
So you can always fail a charge.
And then if you're within 3 inches of someone, they can then pile in and fight you.
Yeah.
Which is like a heroic intervention, which I like. What I don't like is that, for instance, say you've got a range of 1 inch. It means if you surround someone and then double stack the models behind then can't fight.
Yeah, but that makes sense to me because they've got a range of 1
So
inch.
you have to do this weird kind of thing of like, I've done it, and then I have to put my models in the gaps of the circles. So you've got the 2 people like that, like with my little boobies I'm putting up, and then there's like another one here. So you have to like weird stack it all the way around. I kind of like, I'd like to see from 40k, like you have to be in base contact of someone in base contact to fight. Like if you've got a spear or something, just.
But from an, okay.
Because it's like, for instance, say you've got a massive unit and you think it's quite good, you charge into quite a small unit, it's then, you only got, I've got 4 attacks. Great.
So controversially, I quite like the different weapon ranges for melee.
Yeah.
I like the idea that I've got a unit of just swords and shields, so guess what? Only the first rank can fight, because in an actual narrative scenario, the bloke behind me probably can't stab you with my shield. But if I've got a unit of pikemen, guess what? The second rank can fight, because he can shove his pike through the gap.
Yeah.
So I quite like that on the whole. If I was to take something from 10th edition, though, and move it into Sigmar 4th edition, this is a real challenge, actually, because I'm having tons of fun with 40k 10th edition, but I actually think it's dog shit.
Do you know what I want to take from AoS and put it into 40k?
That's not the right way round, though.
No, but I'm saying, do you know what AoS does really, really well, and I hope they don't change it.
What's that then, mate?
Right, is there is not many rerolls in AoS. It's either +1 to hit or -1 to hit,
Yep.
or your AP. There's no re-rolls, and it's really nice.
I'd like them to introduce, and I think they've actually said they're going to do this. I'd like them to introduce more keywords in AoS that do things.
Yeah.
However, I want them to be like, why can't keywords in a code? Why can't they get a rule book where they have keywords and they put it on 2 pages at the back of the book and it's all in one place and it's not scattered amongst multiple pages?
And it's in alphabetical order.
Oh, there's a universal special rule which is about movement. So rather than having a universal special rules page, we're going to put it in the movement part. So it means you just can't find it.
I don't have an issue with them in the movement phase rules section,
having
it there.
But also have it.
Yeah,
exactly.
An index at the back.
So that's something I'd like to introduce, but I'd like it to be brought in properly, not like the mess that is 10th edition and Heresy. Anyway, before we go on, there's another super chat.
One more. Harlem says, in old 3rd, 4th ed Warhammer Fantasy Battle, you could only play named characters in narrative, aka with other player consent. Tourneys didn't allow them. Maybe an idea.
So I've said about this before, I would legitimately bring this into every version. I'd bring this, the only time, I wouldn't bring this into Lord of the Rings, right? No. Because you can't. But in terms of 40k and Age of Sigmar, I'd have that as a generic rule for match play, no name characters every time, personally.
I was having this discussion with Dan, actually, yesterday. For competitive play, no name characters.
Yep.
No super heavies.
Agree.
No flyers.
Okay, agree, yeah.
No...
I mean, no flyers isn't really a problem because at the moment you don't see them anyway.
No supreme commanders, but
flyers are currently so dog shit you don't see them anyway.
Yeah, because you can only take 2. Yeah. So, and then no supreme commanders, which generally fall into the no named characters section, because not all named characters are built equally, and the supreme.
But also, right, I get this is a first world moan, right? I'm aware.
Well, it's only competitive play, just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a first world moan, I'm aware, because most people aren't like me, Jake. Most people don't go to a GT and are thinking about the narrative of the game. Most people don't. Some people do. Some people build their armies with narrative in mind. But I went to a GT shortly after Codex Chaos Space Marines 9th edition. There was something like 13 Chaos players. Not all of them Chaos Space Marines, I might add. Some of them were Knight players. Some of them were 1,000-some players. And out of 13 Chaos Space Marine players, I think there was 12 Abaddons.
Yeah.
And I know it's not narrative. I know it's like... I know we're not like representing the Black Crusades, etc. when you go to a GT. But if you're playing, imagine you draw 3 Chaos players or 4 Chaos players that weekend when there's 13 Chaos players out of a pool of say 30 to 40 people, and you play Abaddon 4 times. It's tedious.
Abaddon was mental.
But it gets tedious, right?
Yeah.
Even forget the narrative, it just gets tedious. It gets boring. And I think that often with Age of Sigmar, what I've seen so far is people don't necessarily take the same character every single time. Now, if it's a big centerpiece like Alarielle for the Sylvaneth, people want to take her. But guess what? She's like 800 points. So she's got a high points cost. But I feel like 40k is more of a problem at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would ban name characters in general. Anywho, right, today what we're supposed to be talking about, would you like to be double turned?
I don't mind double turning other people. I just don't want to be double turned on. You know?
There we go. So this is an article that got put up by Warhammer community last week, right? Double turning. So what is double turning? Double turning is a mechanic, as I understand it, that currently exists in third edition Age of Sigmar. Now, when you deploy, the player who deploys first gets to select who goes first or who goes second, right? And there is a small tactical benefit to going second. You gain yourself an extra command point if you go second. Furthermore, when you consider that Age of Sigmar is typically an edition or a game system that focused majority around melee at least, going second often means your opponent has to move towards you before you then get the charge, right? Yeah. Not that there's a big charge bonus and fighting first bonus in Age of Sigmar. Actually getting a charge, you still take it in turns. So if you make 12 charges, you'll still only get to fight with 6 units, whilst your opponent gets to fight with 6 units before you then get to fight back. Yeah. So your opponent will inflict casualties on you, okay? So double turning is then a mechanic that comes into play after the first battle round. So after the first battle round, players roll off for priority, and the winner gets to select who takes first turn in the next battle round. So let's say I deploy first and I choose to go first and Joe goes second. And then when we roll for priority, Joe then decides Joe wins priority. He then decides he's going to take the first turn in battle round 2, despite the fact that I took the first round in battle round 1. This is the infamous double turn. That means that I go, Joe goes, battle round 2, Joe goes, I goes. You get 2 turns in a row to do things.
It does mean that. So when you roll off to go, see whoever goes first, the winner inevitably picks their opponent to go first. So I was talking to Dan about that, like
for
competitive
the
people.
possibility of having that double turn.
Yeah, so it's much more of an advantage currently to go second.
Yes, of course it is. Makes sense.
And a lot of people build their armies to go second.
So double turning is currently a thing that I've seen very mixed reviews on this as well, by the way. Yeah. So there isn't really a negative to a double turn in general, right? If you get a double turn off, great. That means I get to command phase twice or hero phase twice. I get to move twice. I get to fight twice. I get to shoot twice. I get to magic twice. Yeah. And you don't get a response at this point. You have some things you can do with stratagems that exist or hero abilities or whatever that exist in my turn, but majority you stand there and take it twice, right? Joe takes it twice, okay? That's what happens. So that's the double turn mechanic, right? And then some people, what I've seen about the 4th edition, some people said, please tell me you've got rid of the double turn. Yeah. And I saw a lot of that on social media. And then I was talking to Josh last week, who's like, no, as an Age of Sigmar veteran now, I very much want to keep the double turn. Yeah. Like, if you learn about how to use it and how to manipulate it, it's a very interesting tactical tool that you can have. Yeah. And interestingly, it also means the game can be a lot less predictable. And it's a lot less, I'm building to do this, and this, because what happens if I get double turned, or what happens if I get a double turn? Yeah. Whereas 40k, it's definitely a you go, I go, you go, I go, you go, I go, you go, I go.
Yeah. And it also, with the double turn, it means that you're less, like, people have to think more about their, like, if they're going to take a risk, like, it's a big risk because they're like, if I do this, I really need to get the double turn.
It's much more difficult for you to set up for the next turn because you don't know who's got first turn in the next turn, which I think that's kind of cool. I'm actually into it. I quite like it, right? So people were concerned or interested as to what they were going to do around Age of Sigmar version 4, and they've alluded to what they're going to do in this, and it seems like a tweak that I'm really into. Let's go into it, Joe, right? Warhammer Age of Sigmar, what is the priority role? So this is about what it is currently. We've discussed how the modular rules in the upcoming edition of Age of Sigmar allow for easier learning and more customization as the game expands. But this is far from the only positive change in the new system. Today it's time to tackle one of the signature aspects of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the priority role, which we don't have in 40k. I actually don't think we should ever have it in 40k.
I don't think we should.
Because a double turn against a heavy shooting army would just be disgusting.
Tau getting a double shooting army.
Yeah, exactly.
Get blown away.
This is something I never want. Something I think works in AoS because it's a melee-focused fantasy game. I don't feel like this is something that will ever work in 40k. The player who finishes setting up their army first gets to choose who takes the first turn. This feeds into a strategic element of list building, another part of the game which has undergone changes for the new edition because it may affect the composition of your army. At the start of every battle round after the first, players make a priority roll and the winner decides who takes the first turn. If it's a tie, the player who took the first turn in the previous battle round decides who goes first in the current battle round. Sometimes this means a canny player can take 2 turns in a row, often referred to as a double turn, which offers a substantial tactical advantage. There is then a little graphic here for turn priority. First player to set up their army chooses a turn. This player here, right? Because he's got less units, so he's finished setting up first, because it's a you go, I go deployment thing, right? Subsequent battle rounds, players make priority roll. This one here, he won, he then chooses. This one here, they drew. Player in previous round chooses turn order.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Good, we're into it. Those of you who have played other Warhammer tabletop games may find this a little odd initially, but it is crucial to understanding the ebb and flow of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. The decision is rich with tactical depth and opens up a range of options for both forward planning and counterplay, the latter of which has been considerably expanded in the upcoming edition. This excites me. Like, lots more interactiveness in your opponent's turn. Yeah. It sounds cool, right? What's more, it's here to stay in the new edition, already, in my opinion, a good thing. But the balance between risk and reward has become much more finely tuned. Now, in match play battle packs, when you choose to take a double turn, you give up your opportunity to pick a battle tactic for the turn. Yeah. Start. It's still an incredibly powerful option, but the decision is now far from a foregone conclusion. So currently in AoS 3, it sounds like if you get the option for a double turn, you just take it. Yeah. You just do it. There's no reason not to. Yeah. This looks like it's going to give you a reason not to. So battle tactics, for those of you that are unaware, in match play, is secondary points, basically. Yeah. So if you probably watched last week's games with specifically with Joe and Josh, throughout the game they're going, I'm going to pick this one where I have to kill your warlord, or I'm going to pick this one where I have to get onto your objective or hold the middle, whatever.
Yeah, and they're not always easy to do.
And they're kind of cool and
thematic. Like, I played the game and we managed to get 4 turns in, and I only did it once. Yeah, out of the 4 turns.
But this is saying that if you choose to take the double turn, then you just don't get to pick a battle tactic, which is quite nice. I think the priority role with the potential for a double turn can create really cool and dynamic outcomes where you can't predict the flow of a game, explains Matt, the lead games developer for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. You can't count out each player's moves as simply as a straightforward you go and then I go. It's a wonderful possibility space. Initially, the double turn might seem like an obvious advantage, but it's important to consider that many defensive abilities last until your next turn. This means the player who goes second will often still have their buffs and defensive spells up and running. That sounds like a change, which also sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
The primary skill expression in Warhammer Age of Sigmar is making the best tactical choice in the face of uncertainty, Matt continues. This is not chess, which is, in my opinion, feels like how 40k's kind of gone.
Yeah.
Right? You have to react to things you can't be certain of. The double turn is a very powerful expression of this. You have situations in a turn where you just don't know if your opponent will be able to go twice. Maybe they have the positioning to take advantage of that double turn, so you need to position yourself correctly in response. But then, what if they don't win the priority roll and you then get the turn, right? According to Ben, the product developer for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, top-level players will spend a lot of time considering when to give the double turn away and when to capitalise on it. A player can pass on the opportunity to take a double turn, knowing that they're set up in such a way that it won't really impact them. This gives them a chance to take a double turn later on and really capitalise on it. That's the mark of a great player. When new players first learn about the double turn, it often raises a few eyebrows, but it's well loved by the community at large, which, if you talk to people that have played this for a while, I actually would say that's a fair statement, actually.
Yeah.
I often ask competitive players, playtesters, and influencers the same question, says Matt, what they'd add to the game, what they'd change about it, and what they'd remove from it. By far, the number one answer to the last question is not the double turn. Our players are fiercely loyal to this concept, to the point it's become a bit of a rallying call. I mean, it's the only game where I know this actually exists as a full turn, double turn. We'll soon be able to share more details on the other changes and inform the tactic strategies from command points and scoring to the new underdog mechanic. The underdog mechanic sounds a little bit like that other thing that we never use. What's it called? The existing 40k.
Half units?
No. Underdog mechanic is Gambits.
Gambits.
But the headline news, like that's how much we don't play it. We forgot they exist. The headline news is that the priority role is here to stay. Get practicing. You're forward.
I hope
planning.
that underdog is just me, because obviously it might. There's a bonus currently to having less points than your opponent. I don't know what the bonus is. But sorry, I've got
boring you already?
No, I've got really bad heartburn all of a sudden. It's making me yawn for some reason.
Monster Amp.
But there is a mechanic currently, because I was going through this whole, but I was trying to write an army list, and I was like, there's nothing in this book for less than 80 points. I had like 60 points spare. I was like, how can I not fill this points with something? So I have to completely redesign how my army is to fill those points. And I was like, I don't really feel like I need to put this thing in. But I said, I'd love to have a cheaper unit in this army.
Okay. So what's the new articles up? But I think it's just the rumour engine so far that I can see.
Is it in? Have you looked at?
There's a new one up.
Liberators Reforged.
Let me click, mouse. Let me click, Joe.
Click on the picture.
There we go. Right, we'll talk about this in a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about double turning first, because that's the topic of the stream. So there is a new article up that we'll go into as well as part of the Liam and Joe show, right? Right, so we've also got a new member. Does that mean just the 6 members on the Liam and Joe show, AoS show?
Stephen Burden.
What's he become?
A Jarl.
What Jarl talking about?
Yeah. Any members is good members, in my eyes.
In your eyes?
In my eyes, in my hair, in my hands. I just love members. But we do appreciate every little helps. 1 member is as good as 50.
No, that's not true. It's not true, Joe. It's just factually not true.
I'm trying to be supportive.
It's mathematically not true.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to be nice. But we appreciate everything.
1 member, when they become a member all by themselves,
it means
is
they love us.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because they've chosen to spend their own money rather than relying on the kindness of other people that isn't really there today.
Yeah. And then Carl Hodge says, a new preview is up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Thank you, Carl.
In a minute.
You're a hero. It's a double turn, right? This is something that when I first heard about it, I'll be straight up and I'll be very honest, and I'm going to try and be very honest all the way through this. Okay, I've tried to get into Age of Sigmar over the course of the rest of the whole of this edition. I have a Dominion box next door, which I picked up when the new edition of Age of Sigmar came out, right? Because I was excited about it, and I've struggled to get into it. There's a number of reasons. So first reason that I've struggled to get into it is almost everyone that I know and I play with doesn't play Age of Sigmar, has never had any interest in Age of Sigmar. Predominantly people have been 40k fans. And I guess that to some extent you typically sculpt a friendship group around your interests and your likes. So I've attracted people that are 40k fans, right, which is fine. But 40k has always been also GW's primary game, as we all know. But then, like I said to you already, there's been a ton of complexity that I've kind of been like, oh, there's a lot to learn. It's a whole new design language. It's a whole new game language. I kind of struggle with it a little bit, right? Double turning was one of those things that I thought was a terrible idea.
I hate it.
I always was like, this mechanic sounds awful. Why have they got it? Why does it exist? Now, a part of that is because I didn't completely understand exactly how all of it worked and how, like, I've never played with it, so I guess I didn't really understand the kind of tactical nuance to playing around or prepping for a double turn. But also because I think I'm so used to 40k, and I'm so used to who goes first. Okay, you, me, you, me, you, me, you. That's the way it should be because that's the game I've always played, and it's different, and we all don't.
Well,
like
if you
change.
think like when you come against like, for instance, like it's a Tau or Guard, which is a heavy shooting army, you're like, I have to go first because if you go first, you just delete half my army. But then if you think like, oh, and then a Tau player gets 2 turns on you shooting, so well, I've just been tabled and I've played 1 round. Whereas in AoS, that doesn't necessarily happen. I do think that like turn 3, turn 4, the double turn is a bit of a death knell for an opponent.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, cool, I can't win this now.
Yeah.
The fact that currently, there's one thing I don't like is that you're at the start of a new turn, all of the abilities that you activated during your turn, if you went first, are now gone in your opponent's first turn.
Which sounds like that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, so if your buffs stick until your next command phase, then that's not a problem.
Well, that's what that article says. It says now defensive buffs will sit until your next turn.
Yeah.
So if your opponent gets a double turn, you keep your defensive buffs.
Yeah.
So no longer is it your opponent's first turn you have your defensive buffs, and your next turn they're all gone. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like a nice change. And I like the concept now, hey, guess what? You can have a double turn, and you can potentially kill more of my stuff, but you're trading the ability to score any secondary points because you can't pick a battle tactic. Like, I think that's a really nice little subtle change that adds to the kind of risk reward. So there's a reward for not taking a double turn. You get to pick a secondary and score some points.
Yeah.
There's a risk to taking that double turn. You won't get to score points, but can you kill enough of your opponent's army to stop them maybe from scoring points later on in the game?
Yeah.
Like, maybe you'll look at battle tactics and you'll go, actually in turn 4, you'll look at it and you'll think, I've done all the battle tactics I can do. The ones I've got here, looking at the table, I'm not going to be able to do them. I'm going to take that double turn now because I can't score the points anyway. So why worry about it, right? And it adds another layer of tactical, which I'm actually a big fan of.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Weeman says, are they still waffling about AoS? On the Liam and Joe AoS show? I'm afraid, yes, sir. We are, and we will be for a while.
Yeah. The whole new edition, so strap yourself in.
Yeah. So if it's the Liam and Joe AoS show, Mr. the Wee Man, you can probably assume we'll be talking about AoS. But then this evening, back to 40k, I'm taking World Eaters. Do you know what you're running yet?
I don't know. I'm thinking.
I don't think you've played Tyranids for a while.
I've not played Tyranids for a while. I've not played Raven Guard, but that's a bit of a terrible matchup
For you.
for me if I run Raven Guard. Because I don't.
I'm going to see if I've got enough points of World Eaters to not take Angron.
That'd
That'd be fun.
Take Tyranids. That'd be cool. Or you took Guard the other day, didn't you?
We got Guard next Tuesday as well, Joe.
Oh yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll bring Tyranids.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe Tyranids. So we'll be 40k tonight, Mr. the Wee Man.
I could bring Demons.
Exclamation mark Grift. Demons versus World Eaters.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you want? If you're going to run that big 4 monster list again, though.
What?
If I don't take Angron, I can't kill 4 big monsters.
Okay, good scrub.
All right, just bring Frank.
No, I'll bring Tyranids. All monsters.
Right, cool. So double turning. I genuinely feel like I'm actually kind of excited. There's a little part of me that would have been sad if they'd have removed this mechanic altogether at the point in which I get into AoS. So I've never been part of the double turn crowd, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very glad they put it in, but I'm glad they've thought about the impact it currently has and how they might try and balance that impact to make it more of a tough decision rather than I'm going to take it because I can take it, you know?
I ran Votan on Thursday.
You look like you had such a great time, Jay. You look like you had
They're
such
just
a great
so
time.
boring to play with. I love playing Tyranids. Tyranids are like one of my most fun armies to play with because it can do things, it can move around, whereas just Votan just sit there like a potato and shoot, and then they die.
I think it's the commander's problem. I don't think it's the army's problem.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take Votan off you? and play Votan.
I think I don't mind. I'll probably come back around to Votan in the future, like if they
When they're rubbish again.
When they're rubbish again. Or I got loads. The problem is I've got so much stuff to paint at the moment. Adding models to existing armies is also a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I will one day.
Right, chat. We're going to look at another article as well. So basically, I'm glad Double Turn's here. I'm glad they've added a layer to it.
Yeah.
You sound like you're also glad Double Turn's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
I look forward to it. I think, like someone said in the chat earlier, was the more like if you prepare for a double turn, it can't hurt you.
Yeah.
Just no more 40k chat, please, says Nick. I'm here for AoS. 40k is terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Right. So if you're really excited about AoS chat, then I'll give you an opportunity right now. Okay. We're going to read the next article, and when we come away from that article, I'm hoping we'll see 50 new members on the screen instead of 6. Yeah. Otherwise, this will be the last AoS show. It just won't be worth it.
Yeah. You got 250 people watching.
Yeah. If everyone gives 1 membership, Jay, we're good, aren't we?
We're living the dream.
Boop. Okay. So there's another article that literally went up whilst we were reading the first article about Warhammer New Age of Sigmar. Okay. Liberators Reforged heed Sigmar's call with the first miniature of the new edition. In the hour of direst need, Sigmar has thrown open the Ruination Chamber and called upon his last line of defence, veteran Stormcast Eternals, no more than a few reforgings away from losing themselves entirely. I like this dark narrative path Sigmar's now going down as well, by the way. We'll see plenty from the Ruination Chamber shortly, but these grim heroes aren't the only ones heading into the warpstone poisoned depths of Blight City. They are joined by ranks of bold liberators, stalwarts of Sigmar's cause from the very first days of the Realmgate Wars. Liberators were the first Stormcast models. They don't match up.
They are currently, I haven't seen the picture yet, they are stumpy. They're equivalent of dwarfs now, aren't they?
They compared to the. So I've been painting the spearmen. I don't know what they're called now. I've been painting the spearmen at home.
The pokers.
They're so much nicer and slender and kind of they just look better.
True scale.
Yeah, than the old liberators. The old liberators were a bit derpy. Oh, Jones picture.
Is that? It's not loading.
YouTube.com refused to connect. Okay, don't worry about that one. Clad in gleaming Sigmarite armour, Liberators are the backbone of the Storm host. They fight with stout shields and crushing warhammers, rebuffing incoming blows before launching a bone-shattering counterattack. Here he is.
Oh, he's nice, isn't he?
In the right scheme as well, look.
In the one that you're doing?
Yeah.
How have they painted the joints?
Oh, by the way, Mr. the fucking War Hipster, whilst you're in here, I've seen you in chat, right? Look at this shield.
What?
He was on stream last night. What colour do I paint the face of the shield on this particular storm host? I can't remember the name of them now off the top of my head. For some reason, it's escaped from me completely. Yeah. But how do I paint it? I was like, gold. He's like, I think it's silver. I was like, gold. He's like, I think it's silver. And he looked at it on the thingy, and there was a little silver hammer. He's like, yeah, it's silver. Look at that, War Hipster. Fucking gold, isn't it? I feel vindicated. I feel vindicated, Joe. I'm right. There's one thing I like.
You're not one to rub it in.
If there's one thing I like, Joe, it's being right.
Yeah, I have noticed that. They're very, very nice.
They are actually really nice, aren't they?
They actually look quite a bit more menacing, a bit more heroic now.
They also, yeah, he's cool. I'm a fan of him.
Yeah, I like him.
The new Liberator wears a sleek Thunderstrike armour first seen on the spear-wielding Vindicators from the Dominion box. Vindicators, that's what I was painting. Yeah. First crafted by the Smith god Grungni to help Stormcast souls punch through the cursed skies conjured by Be'lakor, more and more of Sigmar's warriors have been reforged with this mighty armour as fighting across the realms intensifies.
Yeah.
Right? Ooh.
See, look, they're a bit shorter.
They look so much better.
Yeah.
Although I kind of wish they had a more flowing middle tabard. As that gold there.
Yeah, they've got rid of the tabard and given them a chainmail skirt.
Yeah. I like the chainmail skirt though as well. Although I do like the tabard. I'm a fan of the tabard. Yeah. I like the chainmail skirt. Yeah, he looks cool. I'm not sure about the big nose.
Well, that's more of the dwarven influence, isn't it? The grungy look.
This Liberator wears the colours of the Hallowed Knights. There we go. That's what I was talking about. A fervent storm host famous for their rousing battle cry of only the faithful. The focus their efforts on purging lands of corruption, warding off unclean energies with holy litanies. And their expertise will be sorely needed in the wake of the Vermin Doom. Liberators are the towering rank and file of Stormcast solo armies, but they're not from the Ruination Chamber. Over the coming weeks, we'll reveal these pitless, battle-hardened warriors and their third foes. I'm excited to see this.
Do we reckon that these new guys are going to be in the starter box?
Yes.
Yeah?
100% yes. Absolutely. You could just cut the spear off that and put a hammer on, they're basically the same. Are they? There's very limited difference. You think about it, right? He's got a clean chest plate. He's got the booby chest plate, but it's less pronounced than this one, right? The chainmail skirt here is similar to this chainmail skirt here. They're very, very similar in that regard. He's got his little knife on the hip there, his knife on the hip there. The shields are essentially exactly the same by the looks of it. Oh no, he's got cut-out portion there to put the spear through. He doesn't have the cut-out portion to put the spear through.
Oh,
see?
They've thought about that, haven't
They haven't thought about that, have they? He's got his hammer there. The tabard has gone. Some of the little lightning strikes on the knee pads have gone. The shoulder pads have been... I didn't really love these shoulder pads. These are much nicer shoulder pads. Look like got much better movement. He's got this little, like... What would you call that there? It's almost like a tilt shield type thing,
It's like an area for a tilting plate, isn't it?
Yeah.
The what I find interesting, I think I prefer the old helmet, though.
I prefer this helmet out of all three.
Yeah, the sun top one.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
It's a bit more flat on the forehead.
Well, there you go. New Age of Sigmar models chat. Yeah. Mr. Warhaps has been in chat as well. I saw his name pop up over there. I want to see what he says because I swore at him. They've indeed gone for gold there. Sorry, Josh. Sorry. Not sorry. We didn't come back to 50 new members, Joe, just 13.
We came back to Evan Tominello gifting 1 membership. Thank you. You're an absolute dancer. Thank you, Jack Popinski, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Tox Trio, for 5 gifted memberships.
5's amazing. Thank you, Tox Trio.
That's like 1, but 4 more on top. You know? And thank you, Stu Will, who have opted to going for 4 less than 5.
Oh, thank you, Stu.
1.
You're amazing.
But that is still 1 thumb up.
I feel like I'd like them to be a little bit more different to the spearmen.
What, the super chats?
No. The new Liberators. I feel like I'd like them to be a little bit more different to the. I feel like they're very similar. Like let's just fill that notch in the shield and give them a hammer and a slightly different helmet.
Well, they are your baseline infantry, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're supposed to because they're a push fit, like easy build unit in the sense that like. This is your intro level model. It should be easy to paint.
I think they're significantly nicer than the old ones.
Oh, millions, miles.
But I would like them to be more differentiable. That word? More. I'd like them to very, very much look different to the guys with spears. Yeah. As a person painting the spears right now, like I'm kind of like they look amazing.
Yeah, but he's got a hole in the top of his shield, so he could put his hammer in it and go pam, 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 like he's playing snooker.
Great. There's still, nonetheless, the painting of them is going to be very similar, is what I'm guessing at, right? Yeah. There's not going to be a lot of variation there. If you're painting 20 spearmen, 20 hammermen, there's not going to be a lot of variation there.
I kind of want to paint some.
No.
Because I think they look cool.
Mine. That's
fine. I'll do Age of Sigmar instead. Deal.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no there, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying yes, but I'm not saying no. All right.
I'm going to do a whole load of stuff's banging through, so I need to quickly catch up with this.
If we get to 100 members on the Liam and Joe AoS show, I will hand the Cities of Sigmar army over to Joe.
The Warhammer Widow was gifted a membership.
I know, yeah.
Thank you, Kazarin. Joe, have you played any Curse City at all? No. I have the box set. I have built most of it, but not all of it.
Okay.
I want to. Because it looks really cool. It looks like a good board game. It's just painting and building time. I will get round to it eventually, and then I will probably play it at home.
Yeah,
alone. Thank you, Tox Trio. Almost all buffs / debuffs in AoS last either till end of phase or till your next hero phase already in third, so double turning isn't a guaranteed pick. Okay. That was in reference to me saying until your next command phase.
All right, okay.
Yeah. But this will be like it. I don't know. Thank you, Stu.
I was waiting for the imparted wisdom there, Joe.
I just think there needs to be more defensive attributes to the person that goes second. If you get double turned on, there needs to be a finesse in there just to stop you from being steamrolled.
Yeah, but
that's where the feel bad.
But the balance is really important, actually, because you also don't want to allow them to get so many defensive buffs up that there's no point ever taking the double turn.
Yeah.
But that you need the double turn to be there as a risk. And it needs to be something that is both appealing, but not a complete and absolute whitewash because you've got it.
Yeah.
Right? So it needs to not be an auto-win button, but also be something you're like, there is a reason to do this.
Yeah.
So I feel like allowing people to have lots of defensive buffs up and running if they get double turned is very good, and they should do that. But if it gets to a point where a player's like, well, there's no point double turning because you've got all these buffs on and I can't do anything, well, then the double turn becomes pointless and it might as well not exist.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Just getting that balance really right is really important.
Thank you, Stu Will, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Adrian, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Tony Winnick, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Mid-Tier Mediocre, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Stick Monkey, for 5 gifted memberships.
You're a hero.
You're all great and wonderful. Obviously, every little helps, 1 is just as important as 5.
No, not true.
You'll not be as important as 50. Because that's where greatness lies.
It puts us on 22, chat. If we've got half an hour, 34 minutes to be precise, if we get, at the end of 34 minutes, if we hit 100 for the first ever Liam and Joe AoS show, I will literally take those Cities of Sigmar models off my desk and put them on yours. You've cleaned it now, there'll be space.
Yeah, there will be space. I'm just saying, what I need is we need a much bigger cup that we can fill all the way to I've drunk all my tea now.
Yeah, but no, we don't need that, Joe.
Or a giant
The reason why that cup is the
coffee.
perfect size is because even with that cup, you'll still get, in about 10 minutes, you'll be like, oh, I know it's only 25 minutes to go, but I really need a wee.
Yeah, well, I can put the kettle on, can't I? Make coffee.
Oh, I'd like a coffee, actually.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be nice, yeah.
But gifted memberships are great and they help us and support us so much. If you have received a gifted membership, go join our Discord, !Discord in the chat or in the description below, and then go and join the other weirdos.
There's a fair few.
And they are weird as shit.
Yeah, we love them dearly.
We love them to bits, but there's a reason why we segregate them from everyone else.
Yeah, we keep them apart.
From society. They're all strange.
Yeah, we don't let them back out again either.
Yeah. Thank you, Jill. Curse you. I have ordered a Maggotkin of Nurgle Vanguard box. Long live the double turn chaos. I like the Maggotkin army is the better looking of the chaos factions, I think. Although I do really, really like head knights. Because boob horses. Horses with boobs.
Okay. Is that something you often dream about, Joe? Is it horses?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. I go into fields and just glue boobs onto horses.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you get them
They
from?
have asked me to stop.
Have they?
Yeah. Well, the thing about Celeste is half and half, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you could
Some
buy a pair
only-
of boobs and cut them in half.
Only some of them have asked you to stop.
Yeah.
The other ones, you're like, would you like me to stop? They're like, no.
No, more, if anything.
Ruin the joke, Joe.
And then, where was I going with this?
I don't know.
No, just, head knights are great. I'm currently sat between head knights and Daughters of Cain after I've done the 3
Oh, I
armies.
quite like Daughters of Cain.
Fuck it. Daughters of Cain is an army that I wanted to do back when they did the full range and gave all the snake ladies and stuff and
Yeah.
New Marathi.
I really like Daughters of Cain. I feel like Daughters of Cain's an army I'd probably like to do, actually.
I really wanted to do them, and what stopped me was the cost. Because Daughters of Cain suffered from the same problem as what Genius Cult had up until recently, where boxed to points, they were the most expensive Age of Sigmar army to buy.
Yeah.
Because it was like 45 quid for 3 snake ladies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot, actually.
And it's like, and that's less than 100 points. And you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a start collecting box at the time. But now, because they have got the Vanguard box set, and there are army boxes floating around for them from Christmas sets that people haven't sold. They're actually a more accessible army to collect now.
Jill gifted 10 as well, Joe. 10 gifted memberships.
Yeah. Oh, and
Oh my God.
talking about her army of the maggot kin, they've got the cool somber horse.
Yeah, everyone loves a somber horse.
Everyone loves the somber horse.
Jill, I make no apologies. I feel like we are all together going to have an absolute ton of fun with AoS Season 4. That's my gut feeling.
And while we've got tables downstairs, we can just run Age of Sigmar events all the time.
I mean, we play 40k as well still, Joe. I still love 40k.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I make no apologies for you ordering that Magic and an Nurgle box. I feel like, even if, right, here's the other thing as well. Let's say 10th edition, let's say 4th edition launches and it's absolute dog shit, which I'm not anticipating. I'm actually, at the moment, I'm quite positive, but I'm aware how positive I was about 10th edition. Let's say 4th edition launches is absolutely terrible. Even if you built and painted a box, the models are gorgeous. So you've had a good hobby experience anyway.
Yeah. It's not like you've gone, oh, I got these models, I hated painting them.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, there'll be people out there that will buy them off you.
Yeah, almost definitely.
But Jill's a very skilled painter. I don't see anyone not wanting to buy them off you.
Yeah, we probably will. So thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for 10 gifted as well. It's amazing. Puts us up to 33.
From mid-tier mediocre slipped in.
He just slipped in the back door. Yeah,
slipped a member in.
Yeah. Puts us on 33, Joe. They're only 6-7 away from you getting to do cities.
Yes.
Do you know what turned up? Oh, actually, do you know what's turning up tomorrow?
A Vanguard box.
The Slave to Darkness box.
I know, because I haven't got. With that, it gets me exactly 2,000 points to Slave to Darkness. I don't think they'll be in a hard army to paint either. I need to decide whether I give them snowy bases, because in Old World, they were all from the north. Snowy north.
Jorfin says, with Liam supporting AoS version 4, I'm going to have to buy the launch box. Can every single person who's getting into AoS because of the channel just email GW? I'm starting AoS because of Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
I reckon,
actually.
Whilst maintaining our 40k output, my intent is to become the biggest AoS streaming channel on the internet.
We've got a few personal email addresses for people as well.
I do. I'm not handing them out. I'm not handing them out.
Can you email them directly and just be like, Liam and Joe have set us on the path to greatness.
Yeah, the path to glory.
The path to glory holes.
Get it?
Yeah. And we really think you should give them more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah,
let's do that. But like, and then what we'll also do is we'll get all those emails sent to Stu Black as well.
Yeah,
we're all playing Age of Sigmar because Liam, Mr. Svenholio, also gifted 10 of the finest.
I hope you go and buy a scratch card and you win the exact amount of money back.
This means that this is now the most profitable Liam and Joe AoS show ever.
Yeah. We can stop now. Stop us ahead. Just power off. There we go. Done.
Yeah, done. Just shut down. Don't worry about tonight.
Yeah.
Carl, it's cancelled.
Yeah.
I'm going to email them now, no joke. No, I mean, this is one thing that I wish, in general, GW don't really do this, right?
No.
So Element knows how well we perform for Element.
Yeah.
We have an affiliate link, right? And they know exactly how well we perform because when you use the link, they're like, oh, this person came from Liam. We know they came from Liam because they used the link.
Do you reckon they'll get upset with us? If all 270 people watching right now email Games Workshop and be like, I started AoS because of Liam.
I mean, they'd probably be really pissed off at me, actually, to be fair. And I upset them a lot anyway, so I'd rather not upset them again.
You have said a few things that upset them.
But
we've received a few phone calls.
The one thing I'd love for them to do in the future, I don't know if they ever will do this, one thing I'd love them to do in the future, genuinely, is to be like, hey, let's set up some kind of trackable, I don't even care about kickback, just to kind of prove like how much
we're the best.
Is
what you're going for here is you want to be the top of that list.
No.
You do. You want to be like, I'm smaller, but bigger.
That's what I say to her. Yeah.
I may be short, but I have the length.
It may be smaller, but watch what it can do.
Yeah. That's what he's after. So.
No Age of Sigmar tonight, I'm afraid, Drew. It's going to be back to 40k tonight. World Eaters. World Eaters is like the closest I can get to AoS.
What kind of Tyranid army should I bring? Don't say Swarm, I haven't got enough. But I could do Crusher Stampede or Invasion Swarm or the Stealthy one or the Brain Buggy one
I don't really mind. We'll talk about it after the stream.
Thank you, Beretta. Finally wrapped up on Vanguard Nighthorn box. Liam gave me a year ago to set up for 4th.
Good man.
I mean, the Nighthorn stuff is lovely.
The art stuff is beautiful.
You whipped it all out the other day.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the one I do after. I don't know if you guys saw last night. I'm actually painting.
Yeah.
Like I've almost finished a squad of 5. I say finished. I've almost got a squad of 5 to tabletop standard already.
Did you nearly finish that night?
I didn't know because I put it away for this Stormcast stuff. I didn't get anywhere nearly finished that night. But yeah, in 2 days I've nearly finished a 5-man squad of. I say finished again, tabletop standard. They won't be finished ever because I could layer and edge them forever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, let's get them tabletop standard for the launch. Let's get a scheme that I can bash out. So when we get our hands on Age of Sigmar box 4, I don't have to get you to paint both halves. I can do half.
No.
Wouldn't that be nice for you?
Yeah. Then I can't be like, I did this. I can't complain then. How am I supposed to complain if you actually do what I've been asking you to do for 2 years? So what can I do to make your job easier? Paint more models so I don't have to. No.
That's what I'm doing. And I've also got Kyle painting Seraphon. So your job's even easier, Joe. Oh my God, John Warhammer! I know who this is as well, by the way.
John Warhammer.
Oh wow, 50 gifted.
Thank you.
What a hero!
Thank you, Mr. the Warhammer.
Thank you, Mr. John Warhammer.
Yeah. Is this John?
Yes, it's John.
John, I keep Warhammer YouTube alive.
John, I basically pay for your staff's wages in your studio. Warhammer, yes, that's exactly who it is, yeah.
We love you, John.
Yeah, I fucking love you, John. You're incredible.
He asked the other day if he could have some more jerseys.
Yeah.
He? And I was like, jerseys?
Yeah,
I want a jersey. I always like, because in my head, I was thinking, the only time I think about that is like, I think like American football jersey, when someone says like jersey.
The jerseys are the exact ones you said you didn't want.
Oh.
I offered you one, you said you didn't want one.
Can I have one? But I want it really big and baggy.
I don't have. Let's have a look after this. Because I need to order Kyle one as well, because he wants one. I'm happy to order you one. I've told you this.
I want it to be huge. I can't have it tight. Otherwise, I have to put like plasters on my nipples.
What? I don't understand. It's just like a silk material.
Like runners.
I don't get it.
It's because I'm a hairy man, and there's something about that fabric in human body hair which creates a level of friction that will set me on fire. I have a fire hazard in one of those shirts.
John, thank you so
all
much,
die.
man. 50 Gifted is fucking incredible, and he does it all the time. And you're an absolute legend, and we love you very dearly. Carrying chat. Honestly, you guys, everybody who gifts is a special kind of person. People showing up is already incredible. People literally tuning in just to watch us chat bollocks is already incredible because we just chat bollocks and somehow you people find it entertaining.
Yeah.
People that then take the extra time to like and comment in chat are a little bit extra special because they're getting involved and being engaged with the community. People that super chat or become members all by themselves are also amazing. They're choosing to spend their own money to support the channel. People that gift are an extra level of incredible as well, because typically they're already a member, they're already super chatting, they're already doing all the things I just spoke about, and then they're spending their own money to give someone else access.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's why gifting 1 is already incredible, and you people are incredible if you gift 1. But gifting 50, like gifting 5's amazing, gifting 10's incredible, gifting 20 is wow, gifting 50 is oh my shit. Every time. Don't tell them the total. They're too close now. I want to keep cities.
I need 7 members.
Don't tell them.
7 more members and Joe gets to play Age of Sigmar. They announced the Wilder Corpse being released as his own box set finally the other day. And I told you how much I loved them. And then you bought them. And you're like, no, I've got them.
Yeah,
and he spat on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, peasant.
Yeah.
And he asked me to go upstairs so he could push me down them.
You're amazing. You people are incredible. Thank you so much. It's amazing. This is a brand new show and £46 in super chats, 93 members already.
I know. Our fans are super fans. Yeah.
We're going to grow. Sigmar 4 is going to help us grow. We're going to end the year on at least 40,000 subs.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
I'd be very happy with that.
And then for a special event, we could play a game of Warhammer 40,000.
Echoes of the Warp, I think I might give AoS a go with 4 strips. I think you absolutely should, 100%.
Yeah. I think there'll be enough people selling half of that starter box set on eBay, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right? quite cheap that you could pick up the half of the box set and play. Or if one of your friends buys it and they're like, you'd be like, you bought the box set, do you mind if I use the half that you don't want to use?
We also have every intent to go through the new edition on the channel and learn with you people. So it's not going to be like some really monotone, boring kind of workshop learning thing. We're not going to charge you loads extra to do it.
We're not going to do a PowerPoint.
We're not going to do PowerPoint, no. We're just going to learn the game with you people and make it a series around that.
Yeah.
Oh God, look at that. Look who else has been gifted. Leagues of Jotan's been gifted.
101! Oh, it means I got to buy I owe a membership now. I probably owe like 20.
Right, you're going to say thank you to all these members before we carry on.
Right, thank you. Obviously, Mr. John Warhammer has gifted 50. Echo to the Warp has gifted 1 membership. Mid-Tier Mediocre has gifted another one. He's on like 4 or 5 this round. Thank you, Carl Little, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, John Warhammer, for 5 more gifted membership. Thank you, Jay Touch, for 1 gifted membership. I can read.
Yeah.
You are all wangs.
Fucking wangs. What a nice guy.
Yeah. You're just wangs. What awesome. What a nice guy. Yeah.
Would you? Here's a question
gal.
for chat as well. Here's a genuine question for chat. If we were to do a learn to play like Age of Sigmar version 4, are we better making it pre-recorded, hoping we get the box from GW early? We have no idea if we're actually going to get it or not because we haven't had AoS support in a while because I told them I wasn't interested 2 years ago. No, before 10th edition, they put a survey out. I don't know how much of this I'm supposed to say, but it doesn't actually harm anyone. So I feel like this is fine. Before 10th edition, they put a survey out to all of their creators and said, look, we're gonna start focusing more on giving the people who are previewing our stuff more of what they want and less of what they don't want, rather than just sending everybody everything, which made sense. I think it made sense. So they sent out a survey to me and said, what are you interested in? And I was very open and honest about it. So I obviously ticked 40k. I was interested in 40k. I ticked Old World because I was interested in Old World. This is like back in, I don't know when, fucking May last year or something. And there's a few things, and I was like, look, I'm getting AoS content. I was like, I'm not going to tick it because we're not playing the game, and I don't want to keep reserving. Like, one of the stresses Josh puts on himself is if he receives something, he feels like he must paint it for GW's sake and for his audience's sake. And I was like, I don't want to feel that same pressure of I'm not producing this game, so I don't want you to keep sending it to me. So I was like, don't send us AoS stuff, and they stopped sending us AoS stuff, which is fine, right? That's exactly what they should have done. 2 to 3 months into 10th edition, I said to Joe, I actually really want to play AoS because I don't really love a 10th edition right now. I went back to GW and said, we're thinking about AoS again. And they went, okay, now the rules are different to get yourself on the preview list, and you have to do X, Y, and Z and tick all these boxes before we'll start sending you stuff. And that's what we've been starting to do over the course of the last few months.
Yeah.
So we're hoping we're doing enough with last week's streams and the Liam and Joe AoS show and like my streaming, painting stuff, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be like, hey, look, we're really super into Age of Sigmar. Please put us on the preview list. There's no definite promise we're going to get on that preview list. Yeah. Part of the reason I'm like, email GW and say, Liam and Joe got me into AoS. Because like that, I feel like that's like, okay, they are actually, 100% they are actually going to be covering it. Wallace says I was way too honest on that survey. I feel like I probably was as well. To be honest with you, Martin, I approached it 100% honestly and assumed everybody else would do the same. Having looked at people on Instagram, I don't think everyone did. I think everyone just ticked, send me everything, and what I'll do is I'll do one post going, I've got this box, look at me, and then that was it. That's all you'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I opened the box.
Yeah.
There's a
click that it's open. It's out of sync and time, but it's open now. There you go, done. Post finished.
Out the window it goes.
Yeah.
I really liked what we did with 10th edition, where I accidentally on purpose didn't read the book. And then all the rules. And then I learned live on screen. Right?
You had no idea.
I have a clue what's going on, and I hated every second of it. But
the amount of times, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I felt that I then gave my honest reaction to what
you did. I mean, that's true.
That's true. Like people were me. I was the people.
Yeah,
I was the vox populi, as it were.
I always feel like, so here's the thing, right? I always feel like I want to do a really super clean, polished presentation because I feel like in terms of watchability, it has a significantly higher potential to be watched 20, 30, 40, 50,000 times, right?
Yeah.
But I always feel like for our audience at least, doing that kind of live experience is better for them overall. And then it's like, well, where's the balance here? Do we do a bit of both?
Well, I think at the end of the day, we're not a teaching channel. We're an entertainment channel. We're like the WWE.
Yeah.
You're like Ric Flair. And I am like The Rock.
With a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little C.
The cock. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant at the end. Little R.
I feel like you're more of a Mick Foley.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the sad fact, isn't it?
Oh,
Really?
Joe Foley over here.
Joe Foley with Mr.
Mick
Sock.
Jolie. That's what you
Maybe
are.
I should get a 4th edition AoS sock, Mr. Socks, to have around with me.
Oh, Mick Jolie. That's what you are now.
I need to borrow some of Carl's tartan shirts that he's got. I think it'll be fine.
I'm in too good a mood today.
I really like the idea of people doing live streams, and then as we go through the book, we should probably play it in advance, right? The game, and learn the rules, right? And then as we do the streams, people can ask us questions live. Because if someone puts out a pre-recorded video, yes, they get lots and lots of questions on their video in the
Use your words, Joe.
in the word section.
You can
comments,
do it.
comments. That's what they're called.
The
We
word
got there
section.
eventually, right? In the word section at the end, people can type their words. But if we do it live, people can actually ask us live. And
I feel
can
like we need to do
respond their
both.
questions.
I feel like we
Yeah.
need to do both.
We could do a really boring pre-recorded one, right? I'll get
Right.
a swivelly bar stool and in front of the table, and then you can film me as I talk about it. Right?
Why would I do that? You know what? No.
We,
No,
could,
when
we
I-
could do it like the only way is Essex.
When I talk about doing decent quality, high production quality, what I don't want to do is, like, I don't know, fly over to Canada and then copy all of their output. I don't want to do that, Joe. I want to come up with our own stuff. I don't want to come home from Play On and just copy their stream layout. I don't want to do that, Joe.
In that case, we'll go to Towie, and then we'll go and we'll film us walking around Newquay, eating fish and chips, being sick on the floor. And then
Okay,
we'll come back
I'm
here,
into that already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Go and
I'm a
walk
fan.
around the Tyne. Is that in Newquay?
Get mugged by a seagull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss Towie. I used to watch that a lot, actually.
I have no doubt you
I
did.
found it was a right way of feeling better about myself.
Icebergs actually sent the email.
Thank you.
Quiet, Ed. Thank you for the gifted membership.
People can type words in their word holes.
Yeah.
We've done a little. Hang on. Thank you, Adam Fox. 2 Liam and Joe shows a week. Why not do 3 or even 4, you cowards? And that's his 5th one, and that's 5,000
What is it?
W.
What's
Weasels.
It's
Is that?
Is the starter box?
What's the exchange rate on Weasels?
Is the
nowadays?
starter box Stormcast versus Skaven? Yes, we're led to believe it is going to be starter box is Skaven versus. So if you check the AoS trailer out, you'll see the Hallowed Knights in the trailer taking on or going against the Skaven in the whole Sigmar Lied thing. And I actually, if we go to the narrative path for a moment, actually, we haven't spoken about this very much. I think we've been looking quite a lot at the rules and how Age of Sigmar plays compared to 40k. Here's the other reason why I think I struggled to get into Age of Sigmar years and years ago, specifically when it came out. We talked about the lack of points and some of the silly rules that existed. I've said this before as well. One of the biggest problems I had was the narrative. It wasn't a lot of it. It wasn't very in depth. It was kind of a new world. Fantasy. The end times exploded, the realms of Sigmar came into being, and the narrative was a bit weak, right?
Yeah.
Since then, a ton of authors have got their hands on the narrative, it's evolved, it's developed, and I feel like it's starting to position itself in quite a good place. Now, I've recently, you'll be proud of me actually, you'll be very proud of me specifically.
I'm proud of you.
On Sunday I watched 3 films, on Monday I watched 2 films, and I've watched the first 5 now in the Harry Potter series that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Right, and we talked about this a little bit
I
last
love Harry
night.
Potter.
Well, we talked about this a little bit last night on the streams, and Lucy was like, "How have you found them?" I was like, the first 2, dog shit, hated them. The acting was terrible. It was kind of a bit silly all over the
are
place.
children.
Oh, of course, yeah, but I watched them because they're classic films, etc. Got to the 5th one, and I was
The
like,
Goblet of Fire, which is the best, in my opinion.
no, Goblet's the 4th one.
Prisoner of...
Asgabar is third, Goblet fourth,
Yeah.
fifth is Phoenix, Order of Phoenix,
Yeah.
right? So I watched the fifth one, and then it got to the fifth one. I said, I'm starting to actually enjoy these now. So really, what's the difference? It's like budget's clearly higher.
Yeah.
SFX have clearly got a lot better. But the most important thing about all of it that made me enjoy it more was it's got a bit more grim and dark, a bit more evil.
It's aged up with them, isn't it?
Yes, it's got a bit more evil. I like, so it's kind of high fantasy because it's wizards and stuff like that and witches, but I kind of like when that fantasy setting comes hand in hand with grim, dark, evil, no hope.
Do you now understand the memes about the Hogwarts band? About like how he obviously Cedric Diggory dies, spoiler alert, and then they come back through the thing, and then the band is just blaring away.
Yeah. He's on the floor crying.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
But so the second he, like even that one, that was in the fourth film, when he died, I was like, someone actually died. This is good. Okay. With Sigmar, like Stormcast is one of those models where I was like, I kind of like the old range. I wasn't into it. When the Dominion box came out, I was kind of into the range. I looked at some of their narrative. Their really early narrative wasn't that great. The Sigmar Light stuff, where they're slowly but surely losing themselves as they continuously be reforged, that adds a grim, dark element.
Yeah, I
now.
do find that the thing about redoing the setting for Old World into AoS means that they're no longer there's no like they can do and say and whatever they want. They've got complete creative freedom.
Yes.
In everything that happens, and because they've split it into the realms, and not all the armies that they've talked about in the narrative are here. They're like, we could literally do whatever the hell we want. Whereas in 40k, there is 35 years of established narrative.
Yeah.
And if you deviate away too much from that, people like one of the things I've always wanted, right, is I want Russ when he comes back to be a demon Primarch.
I know you do.
Right?
I know you do.
And I think that will blow people's minds. Right? But the thing is though, they just won't accept it as a thing. But I think it'd be great. Or what 40k needs is a loyalist character to be dead.
To turn.
Either turn or be dead.
Yeah, I agree.
But with Age of Sigmar, they can be like, yeah, cool. A new realm's being created.
Well, you know, if you think about it, I think one of the problems I have with fantasy battle in general is that the setting is not something they could copyright necessarily. They definitely can't IP protect the setting back then because orcs, goblins, and elves were everywhere in all kinds of fantasy settings. And I think one of the other problems they had is, genuinely believe this, is in terms of narrative setting, it was kind of too parallel to Lord of the Rings. Right? Wood elves, high elves.
It's too close to all generic high fantasy, wasn't it? Yeah.
And for me at the moment, we're now moving into the 4th edition of Age of Sigmar. I'm actually taking away from the models and the rules setting. I'm kind of excited as to what could happen to the narrative over the next 10 years. And the fact that potentially I have the opportunity to grow with that narrative over the next 10 years as well. And think about, like I said, the Sigmarines now, who are slowly but surely over time becoming less and less of themselves. That's quite an evil kind of concept.
What I really liked about the narrative is when they had Kragnos appeared, didn't he? The big angry lord who looks very chaosy is actually the Lord of Destruction. And actually just ruined everywhere.
The big centaur type creature.
Yeah,
thing.
right.
What a model as well.
Incredible
my
model.
God.
And they're like, well, how are we going to celebrate this new model? We're going to create an entirely new narrative in this realm where he's just going to straight fuck it. Right? He's just going to ruin everything. And then I listened to the Van Dent's book about the two witch hunters, right, which is set directly after that. But basically, there's a necromancer going through the exact realm where Kragnos had been defeated, raising all of these dead orcs and dead humans. So it's double shit living in that land. You only just survive being murdered by an angry beast and his army of orcs. And now a necromancer's come through and then just re-raised all of them to try and kill you.
They could just, what you say is very true and very exciting. They could just do anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what, right? Watching the AoS 4 trailer, do you know one of the things that trailer made me do? I went and dug out my 98% built Nagash.
Yeah.
Because at one point, she's in front of Nagash, and I was like, Nagash looks cool here. This fucking giant evil, like, Lord of Death looks sick. And I was like, this is cool. And so that one moment made me go and get him out of the box as well, because you have these massive centerpiece models.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. I can't wait. I'm excited. Anyway, Star Pilot. I think it was Star Pilot.
Yeah, so, it was Korean 1.
It was Korean
Adam
one,
Fox
yeah.
is actually Irish.
Yeah, in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
That currency's not right. It's wrong.
That amazes me. I started playing through Resident Evil recently.
Yeah.
Called Separate Ways is the expansion. And you play as Ada Wong, who's a character, right?
Yeah.
And it's called Separate Ways. Why wasn't it called Wong Way? Just
think about it, people.
Just think about it.
Yeah.
You got a great pun sat there in front of you.
Life is miserable. Turn everything into a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Corey Ed, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Star Pilot, for 20 gifted membership.
20?
Yeah.
20 is a lot.
Yeah.
Star, thank you very much. I love
you.
you. Love you.
Star Pilot, I think, was talking in the chat earlier about
In the Thanes.
Yeah. Doing the nails, aren't they, at the moment?
No,
Think about putting transfers.
They weren't doing the nails. That was paint. That was spray paint, you lunatic.
Yeah, but they should do the nails and then they were talking about putting transfers.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't more people that do their nails use Warhammer transfers?
They were talking about, in the Thanes, they were talking about the post, weren't they, where someone had used the Skaven transfers on their nails, apparently.
Yeah.
I whipped it out, got a problem, a girl has a bigger schlong. Well, no. I'm just going to stick it with my legs crossed. Thank you for the 20 though, Star. You're a legend. Love you.
Thank you, Mid-Tier Mediocre, for another gifted membership. Mid-Tier's slipped a few in, actually.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, 2, 3.
Life is a joke, because everyone's forgot the punchline. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolute. How many is there in total for Mid-Tier? 4, 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, and a super chat.
Oh my God.
One more, we Stampy cards, you get free coffee.
Yeah.
We owe John a few coffees.
We owe John a lot of coffees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do,
And a reach around.
When he comes here, I'm just a human chair for him.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I want to sit down now, and I'm like, oh.
I'll be honest, if he comes here again, Joe, I'm going to have you come into the studio. You're just going to be his cum cloth. That's what you're going to be. Yeah. He just gets to wipe it on you the whole time.
It upsets me that he's just going to walk around without. I mean,
he does anyway.
If he wants
it's
to,
literally what he does, Joe.
If he wants to, he can.
Right, you're amazing. You're incredible people. Thank you so much for the amazing
So I get to play
support.
Age of Sigmar.
I'll put them on your desk. You can have the Cities Army. The thing is, I don't know when I'm going to get to them, because if I was thinking, right, in my order of priority at the moment, so there's 2 issues at the moment. First of all, the issue is I'm quite slow at building and painting anyway, as we all know. It's not news, right? It's not news. The second problem is, with Sigmar specifically, I was sat the other day with 40k, and I was like, what army do I really want to do? And I was struggling. I was like, that's why I got the night out, because I was like, I love this model. I just paint this model up. With Sigmar, I sit there and I think, what army do I want to build? I want to do this one. I want to do this one. I want to do this one.
What we say is that all the models, bar maybe 1 or 2, right, in Age of Sigmar, everything's a win. There's no real bad models.
So I went digging. In my house, and I went digging in the studio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, top tier that I've picked so far is Stormcast for 2 reasons. One, I actually really love the more recent Stormcast stuff, and I've never really liked the poster boys for any faction or any game, and I actually quite like them.
Yeah.
So and the other big reason, main reason, I fucking love dragons. I've always loved dragons.
Yeah.
So and I've got a ton of them already. I've bought nothing, and I've got loads of them. So. The first army that I picked was Sigmarines. The other thing as well is we pretty much know for a fact they're going to be in the launch box.
Yeah.
So if I can get a quick dirty scheme to paint together, which I've got a quick dirty scheme I can paint, then I could probably help with the launch box, and I can actually have a half a launch box that's actually mine that I've actually painted for a change, which is that, right? Then I was like, what's the army I want second after I've been digging? Nighthaunt. I fucking love that Nighthaunt range. I adore that Nighthaunt range, and it's not a big range. They just look cool.
It's just beautiful.
So Nighthaunt's the second one. Third, I was like, probably Lumineth, because I love High Elves, and so far, Old World's been out for 4 months, and we still don't have fucking High Elves Games Workshop. So what I'll do instead is I'll just buy Lumineth.
They haven't only just got Orcs, they've only just gone on to pre-order.
Yeah. So Lumineth, and I'm like, at this point, Cities is going bump, 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 bump down the list, bump.
But what I could do now is I could just go Cities then Chaos, or Chaos then Cities.
Whichever way around you
I
want.
don't. Someone said what colours. I can't. I wanted to do purple because that's the colour for the Realm of Death. But the problem is my skeletons are purple. So I'm thinking about doing greens.
For what?
Cities.
Well, they have to, whatever's in. The one thing I am doing at the moment, which I'm finding I'm doing at the moment with the battle tomes, is I'm actually looking at the actual colour schemes rather than make up my own colour scheme. And I'm actually going for like box art or actual art, like Hallowed Knights. I've tried to paint Hallowed Knights.
Well, there's a greens in the Mad King book. That all the army in there is greens, and I because I really like the Wilder Corps. I really like the idea of having them in like woods and stuff, having like nice like ferns and stuff on their bases.
I'm into it. The thing is, the model range is so beautiful that I can always, in 2 years' time, when I've done the other 3 that I'm talking about, pick up a Cities army again. It's possible. I can do that. So I'm excited. It's amazing. This is our new Tuesday show, but chat, 275 people watching right now. I'm gonna give you a little warning. It won't be live next Tuesday, okay? Because what I was doing was booking our guests on Tuesdays on the off chance we can get them involved in the Tuesday night stream as well. And next week is very important. So I've had to confirm this morning that we are having next Tuesday, a week today, sat in these chairs, pre-recording a talk show, will be Mr. Peachy of former current Peachy Tips fame, former Painting Phase fame, and former Warhammer TV fame.
You have to get your brew game on.
My brew game's strong, Jay. Yours is piss weak. So Mr. the Peachy will be here.
I'm going to make him one, and then we'll get him to compare.
Okay. Mr. the Peachy will be... I'm that confident.
Yeah.
Mr. Peachy will be here as we will record our talk show. Questions going up in the Only Things questions section this weekend. But the most important reason as to why he's coming down on Tuesday, YouTube exclusive. Tuesday night, 7:30. Peachy's bringing his guard. What are they called?
Oh, the Ventrilian Nobles?
Yes.
As he said he's bringing them?
Yes. The Ventrilian Nobles will be here to play against something. I don't know what yet I'm going to play against him, but he's coming for YouTube exclusive. We'll watch Peachy play 40k on stream.
Make sure he leaves here happy. Well,
he's actually excited.
You don't want to kill his dream.
He's actually excited. He's watched the channel. He's like, I feel like you guys are more my vibe of 40k.
Yeah.
So he's actually excited for it, right? 100%.
Yeah.
So the next Tuesday there won't be a Liam and Joe AoS show simply because Peachy's going to be.
I don't even need to be here that day. I'm still going to turn up.
Please do.
I'm going to stand over there and just with my hand very deep in my
Please
pocket.
come and be his comrade.
I will. I'll walk around and be like, what do you want, master? And I'll like hobble off and get him stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stroke his face.
Please be here, Jay.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get Mike 4 working. We'll get you mic'd up for the evening show if you want to hang around for a bit.
Yeah.
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 You into it?
I think because I want to be like Us Plus, you know. Like I don't know where that came from, but so degeneration. What? Let's have a table, but give them a nice narrative table to play on. Make it really exciting, and then, yeah,
I'm excited.
And I'd be like, I want him to be like, this is the best game of Warhammer I've ever played. I should kill myself now because nothing else after this will be better.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't. He's got a wife and a child.
Yeah.
But you know,
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? So we have him next week, and I have to start trying to find a guest for the month afterwards as well.
someone said Duncan. We should collect them all.
I mean, I'll ask, but I don't know how likely it
We'll
is.
start a revolving door outside Games Workshop. Anyone that leaves, come straight here.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today on the Liam and Joe AO Show. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, smash that like button for us. Thank you so much for all the gifted members. First ever Liam and Joe AOS show, 124 new members. It's amazing.
It's
You
a
people
great
are
start.
incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love you.
All of you.
We love you so much, right? Super chat revenue of 50 quid as well is not to be sniffed at. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. You are amazing. Tonight at 7:30, Joe and I will be back on screen in just under 4.5 hours. We'll be back on screen as we play a 10th edition game of Warhammer 40k. Kyle will be producing for us as our illustrious producer, and I'll probably be running Wild Eaters, and he'll probably be running Tyranids. But 4 hours between then, and we change our minds very quickly, so who knows? Tomorrow night at 7:30, we've got the 40k show. Thursday, there will be no Liam and Joe show and no 40k game because everybody's away because half term. So I'm literally all by myself. All by myself. So I'm going to be doing probably bonus hobby streams at home because I'm enjoying them at the moment and I'm going to get more painted.
Yeah.
Look at me go.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. It's a great. You watch Family Guy, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, Mayor West gets replaced by his brother.
Yeah.
With the big mustache.
Yeah.
There's a great episode where everyone's got a mustache, and Cleveland goes, "I've got a mustache," and he goes, "I'm proud of you." So now I do that all the time. I'm proud.
You people are incredible. Thank you so much. I hope we see you this evening. Oh, so obviously that's Thursday, and then Friday we've got 40k After Dark. 7 streams a week now, Jay. Name me a channel that puts out more content that's all free.
And good.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have a wonderful time.